The air on Mount Ruin was thin and sharp, a cold clarity that cut through Elias's wool jacket. He had come to escape, to trade the cacophony of the city for the solemn silence of the peaks. Locals had warned him, old, toothless men in the village below, who spoke in hushed tones of a silent queen that ruled the upper slopes. They told him of a jinn, a spirit born of smokeless fire, who lured travelers astray with her sorrowful song, only to leave their bones to bleach on the jagged rocks. Elias, a man of maps and logic, had dismissed it all as folklore. He followed the winding trail, the sun dipping behind the horizon and painting the sky in fiery streaks of orange and purple. The silence was profound, but as dusk settled, he noticed a new sound. It wasn't the wind or the rustle of leaves. It was a faint, melodic weeping carried on the breeze. It was hauntingly beautiful, a sound so full of grief it resonated deep within his own chest. Curiosity overpowering his caution, Elias moved toward the sound. He found her by a small crystalline spring that trickled from the mountainside. She was draped in a shawl the color of a moonless night, her back to him. Her hair, a cascade of ink-black silk, fell to her waist. Her form was impossibly graceful, an ethereal beauty in the harsh, unforgiving landscape. "Are you lost?" he asked, his voice a clumsy intrusion on the tranquil scene. She didn't turn. Instead, she lifted her head, and the weeping ceased. A voice like the chime of distant bells echoed in his mind. "No, I have been waiting for you, traveler." A shiver of primal fear coursed through Elias. He had not heard her with his ears, but with some deeper sense. He took a hesitant step back. "Who are you?" he whispered. She finally turned, and the breath caught in his throat. Her face was as perfect as a sculpted marble statue, but her eyes, they were pools of liquid starlight, aglow with a faint, otherworldly luminescence. The moonlight caught her skin, revealing a translucent quality, a subtle shimmer that spoke of something not entirely solid. "I am the echo of this mountain," she said, her voice now a whisper in his mind. "My sorrow is its history, my song its memory." She gestured toward the spring. "Look into the water and see what I have lost." Reluctantly, as if under a spell, Elias knelt and peered into the clear water. The surface didn't reflect his face. Instead, it showed a scene from a century ago, a small caravan of travelers, laughing as they made their way up the mountain path. At the head of the group was a young woman, her face filled with a joyful light, a face identical to the jinn's. He saw her smile as she shared a joke with a man by her side. Suddenly, the image twisted. A storm, violent and unexpected, descended upon the caravan. The wind howled, and a rockslide thundered down the slope. The jinn's face contorted in agony as she watched her companions, her lover, swept away by the merciless force of the mountain. The vision faded, and Elias looked up, his heart heavy with a sorrow that wasn't his own. "You were human," he said, his voice barely audible. "A long, long time ago," she replied, the grief in her mind voice a tangible weight. "This mountain took everything from me. My life, my love, my future, and so I became part of it. A vengeful whisper, a silent echo, and now I claim what it owes me." Her form began to shift, to shimmer like a heat haze on a desert road. The gentle spring behind her bubbled and frothed, and the air grew impossibly cold. The beautiful eyes, once filled with a human sorrow, now blazed with a cold, hungry fire. "You saw what I lost," she whispered, her voice tightening into a razor's edge. "Now you will take their place." Elias stumbled backward, a scream lodged in his throat. The very ground seemed to tremble. The graceful form of the jinn dissolved into a swirling vortex of wind and dust, a spectral storm that whipped around him. He felt an icy touch on his skin, a hand that was not there, pulling him toward the edge of the cliff. The sounds of the mountain became a roaring crescendo, the wail of the wind, the grinding of rock, and beneath it all, the chilling, mournful song of the jinn. He fought, scrabbling at the ground, but it was useless. He was no match for a being that was both wind and shadow, grief and fury. The silent echo of Mount Ruin had found a new voice. As his feet left the ground and he was dragged toward the precipice, Elias didn't hear his own scream. All he heard was the jinn's sorrowful lament, a song that would forever be carried on the cold, unforgiving air of the mountain. And somewhere, in the endless echoes of the peaks, her terrible, beautiful song continued, waiting for the next traveler to listen.